Good evening, everybody. Bob Fitzgerald, Brave Haven Media. We are here tonight to talk about some fire safety and talk about some tips that'll make things better for you and your family, hopefully, and make things safer for you. We're going to provide you some information that you can download, and you can create some activities for you and your family and your loved ones to go through and just make things a little bit safer. We've just completed a series on earthquake safety. And in that series, there were a lot of different tips that we did. You can go on our website, which is bravehaven.com, and view that series in its entirety. There are 7 segments. Or you can go to westvalleycityfire.blogspot.com and also watch the entire series from that spot. So anyway, we would like to thank you for joining us here tonight. We would like to thank our sponsor, West Valley City Fire Department, for sponsoring this program and making this all possible. Fire drills in the home it's nothing new. It's something that's been around for quite a while. And so, people think, well, my kids get this in school, but we want to be able to have this up there so that you can talk with your family about this and all those kind of things. Now, to understand why it is so important to have an exit drill in your home, or not just an exit drill, but an exit plan for your home, I'm going to talk about fire for a few minutes and a few things that I understand about fire. First, I want to talk about the first 5 minutes of a fire, and then I'll talk about smoke detectors in the home during this 5 minutes, the first 5 minutes of a fire, and we'll talk about some other things there. But in the first minute of a fire in a house, the smoke levels are going to be very high. They're going to be up at the ceiling level. The temperatures in the room are probably going to be around 70 to 80 degrees, not much warmer than it normally would be. And somewhere in that first minute, that smoke detector will be going off, alerting you to get out of your home. Should have plenty of time. The visibility will be good. The air quality should be fairly good, and you should be able to get out of your home fairly safely. Now, in the second minute of that fire, the smoke level now is going to be about your head level. Temperatures are going to be over 100 degrees, and the smoke will be developing quickly. Now, your smoke detector has been going off for an entire minute. If you do what's right, you should be able to get outside without much trouble. Now, in the third minute of the fire, that smoke level now is down around your belt level. Your smoke detector has been going off for 2 full minutes, telling you to exit the house. If you are down on your hands and knees and crawling, you should be able to see an exit because the visibility down lower will be better. You should be able to see an exit and get to it as quickly as possible and get out. Now, in the 4th minute of a fire, smoke level is going to be down around your knees. The temperatures in that smoke level are going to be anywhere from 5 to 700 degrees. If you're close to an exit and you are down on the ground, you should be able to crawl out, but it's not going to be easy and it is not going to be comfortable. Your smoke detector has been going off for 3 full minutes. In the 5th minute of that fire, smoke level will be to the ground. The temperatures in that smoke level will be over 1,000 degrees. And if you didn't listen to your smoke detector, or if you didn't have a smoke detector, that is exactly where the firefighters will find you, and you won't make it out. Smoke detectors make a huge difference in life and in fires and in alerting family members to get out and to get out safely. So we advise you, do whatever you can to get out quickly and to get out safely. Have a smoke detector, at least one on every level, preferably multiple smoke detectors throughout the house. Now, let's talk for just a moment about why it is so important to have that exit drill or exit plan for your family. Everybody's home is different. Everybody's family is different. And so that's why it's important for you to sit together as a family or whatever it is, if you've got roommates, whatever it is. But it's important for you to have that plan so that everybody is on the same page and everybody can get out safely. Now, I want to tell you about a fire that happened in West Valley City a number of years ago. It was a family of 5. There was a mother and a father. There were 2 boys, and there was a small infant. Now, this fire happened, if I remember correctly, it happened on a Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning just before noon. And what had happened is the 2 brothers were in their bedroom and they were playing with some matches. Now, these 2 brothers caught part of their bedroom on fire, and they tried to put that out, but the fire got too big, and so they panicked, and they ran outside, and they hid because they knew that they were going to be in trouble. The mother and the father were somewhere in the house. We assume that they were probably in the living room or something like that. They noticed that smoke was pouring down the hallway from where the kids' bedrooms were. As the smoke developed, they panicked also, and they ran outside into the front yard. When they got there, they looked at each other, and they realized that their children were nowhere to be found. Now, as most parents would think, they're going to think the worst. They're going to think their children are still inside. And so they decided to go back in to get their kids. The mother went in the front door. She got in about 4 feet within the front door, was overcome by the smoke and the heat, and she collapsed. She died, and that is where the firefighters found her body. The father went around to the bedroom window where the baby's room was, opened the window, climbed inside the window, and that is where the firefighters found him, just inside the threshold of that window, and he died. The baby also died. Now, what a horrific thing for those 2 boys to deal with for the rest of their lives, knowing that the actions that they had and actually caused the death of their family. What a tragic thing. I can't begin to imagine what that would be like. And none of us really want to know that. None of us do. But I hope through that story and through that visual story that I told about the first 5 minutes of a fire, that you can see just how important it is to have an exit plan for your family. Now, when firefighters go to the schools, we teach a couple of things about fire behavior, and certain things. One of the things that we teach them is about smoke. Now, smoke is the culprit in almost all fires that causes people to die. It acts like a drug. It overcomes them. It makes them unconscious, and then they die. There's a couple of things we want everybody to understand about smoke. Smoke will always try to go up. So if smoke is trying to go up as it fills a room, people and humans stuff should stay as close to the ground as possible. Now, that air down there is not going to be great. I'll be honest with you, it's not going to be great. But it is cooler, and it is more tenable, and it will give you a greater chance to get out. So that's why firefighters always teach the kids in the schools, stay low and go and smoke. So just remember that. As you're talking to your family, practice that. Stay low and go and smoke. The other thing, besides the smoke detectors and staying low, the other thing that is a great firefighter tool, and I'm working on getting some visuals of this, and we'll bring those to light and put them up on our websites. But a bedroom door in a home is a great firefighter's tool. So let me ask you this. How many of you, parents and children, sleep with your bedroom doors open? I know as a young boy, I was kind of afraid of the dark, and I didn't like to sleep with my bedroom door closed, so I always left it open. But as I grew older, and now as I know, as a firefighter, that bedroom door is a firefighter's tool. It's not only there to keep brothers and sisters out of your stuff, but it will keep that smoke out of your room for a long amount of time, and it will even keep fire out of your room for a while also. And so smoke is the bad guy. You want to keep that fresh air supply in that room as fresh as you can. So keep your door closed. Now, a lot of kids are afraid to sleep with their bedroom door closed. And it's very important for them to learn, to understand, to be brave so that they can sleep with their bedroom door closed. Whatever you need to do as a family to teach that and to get them to the point where they're comfortable with that, then I would suggest that you do that. Be creative and excuse me, and come up with different ways that you can do that, because it is so important that we get that message out there and that people do that. So, sleep with your bedroom doors closed. Have your smoke detectors outside the sleeping areas, in the sleeping areas, have them tied together. More smoke detectors, the better. Now, if you have a fire in your home and your smoke detector goes off, this is another reason why it's so important to practice these drills. And your smoke detector goes off, say at 2 o'clock in the morning, what do you think your children will do, and what do you think you will do? Now, I did this with my kids. We tried this after they went to bed, do that, and chances are they're going to get up out of their bed, open their door, and say, hey, what's going on? So as we kind of do these things, and as we go through our drills, practice it at different times so they get in the habit of following the steps to make it safely out of their bedroom, out of the house. Now, we want everybody to have 2 ways out of every room, if at all possible. Now, we realize that in some homes, in some situations, that is not going to be possible. However, if you will take the time with your family to sit and look in each room and say, okay, here's the 2 ways out of this room. Here are the 2 ways out of this room. It will make things much better, and when an emergency happens, if you, heaven forbid, you do have a fire, those things will come to mind and you'll know the 2 ways out. Now, with the door closed, if the fire was outside of the bedroom area, which most fires probably start in a furnace room or a kitchen or something like that, but if the fire starts outside the bedroom area, the smoke detector goes off and alerts the family member. That family member should, instead of just standing up out of bed, should get down on their hands and knees and crawl to the door. Now, when they get to the door, instead of just opening that door, they should kind of put their hand, the back part of their hand, on that door and just kind of feel it to see if it's hot. If it is hot, don't open it. If that door is hot, that means that there's fire and bad stuff on the other side of that door. They should go to the second exit. Now, one of the things we taught our children, and generally a second exit is like a bedroom window or something like that. One of the things we taught our children was that that was their primary exit. They should go to that window and get out. Now, a problem with that is many of the windows in basements and other bedrooms are hard to open. And if you've got a small child, that may be a difficult thing for them to do. So it's important that you get together as a family and you practice that and you teach them how to do that. Now, when they get in their teenage years, that might create a different set of problems. But you can see the value if they know that they can go to that window and confidently open it and get out of that window and get outside safely. That is the most direct route to getting outside and being out of that hostile environment where the fire is going on. So, if there is no heat, they can open the door slowly and they can proceed. But that window is still probably a better option of getting out as long as they know how to open it up. Now, let's say you do have that emergency and everybody in your family is alerted to it and everybody in your family gets outside. Now what? I want to take you back to that story I started with the family of 5. The 2 boys got outside and the mom and dad got outside and looked at each other and realized, holy cow, our kids aren't here. They went back in. That's why it's so important for everybody to be on the same page. Everybody to talk about fire safety, and everybody to do everything that they can to get outside. When you get outside, you need to have a meeting place. And this meeting place can be anywhere you guys decide. It can be by a car, it can be by your mailbox, it can be by a fire hydrant. My family's meeting place was on my neighbor's front porch. That way I could be counting heads, making sure everybody is there, and knocking on the door and getting the fire department coming. Doesn't matter where your meeting place is as long as everybody knows where it is and they know to go to it. It will be a huge benefit to you as a family leader, as a parent, as a grandparent, as an uncle, as whatever, to have that peace of mind knowing that everybody is outside. And when the fire department comes, that is a key piece of information that they will be wanting to know, because their first priority is not to put the fire out. Their first priority is to make sure everybody is out of that house or that apartment or whatever it is out safely. So that's why it's so important for you to get that accountability point and make sure everybody goes to the meeting place and you know. Makes a huge difference in a firefighter's mindset if they know everybody is out safely. They'll still go in and treat it like there's still somebody inside. However, it lets them focus on putting the fire out rather than maybe working around the fire to get to the rooms and make sure everybody's out. So that is a key thing. The other thing I just want to emphasize here is never call from inside the burning building. Always get outside. Now, we mentioned that everybody's home is a little bit different, and that's true, and everybody's family is a little bit different. You have Rambler-style homes, which are a single level. You have split entry, which has an upstairs and down and a downstairs. There are multi-level houses that may have 3 or 4 levels with people living on each level. We have apartment complexes. There are many things, and that's why it's so important for you to get with your either your roommates or your family and discuss those things as a group and come up with that solid plan. The other thing is everybody's family is different. Some have children that are older. Some have children that are younger. Some have infants. Some have elderly people with handicaps living with them. There are many things that you need to take into consideration when you're making your plan. Now, this has just been a brief tutorial about exit drills in the home. We're going in the following weeks to break these things down and talk about them in more detail and go over these things. Again, this is Bob Fitzgerald from Brave Haven Media and West Valley City Fire Department saying, be smart, be safe, and be ready. All right, good night, everybody. Thank you.